What's up, everybody? Andrew Maxwell from the Southern Outdoorsman here. I got Michael Pike from the Unrested behind the camera, and today we're doing a little scouting video for you, where we're doing it out here on a public park. It's the Cahaba River Park, just outside of Birmingham, Alabama. So anybody can come out here and look at this stuff. Anybody can go, look at it on the map. We can actually tell you what it is, so you can go on your mapping software and look at the exact same stuff that we're scouting, so you can kind of get a feel for it.
So what drew my attention to this area on the map initially is one of the first things I really like to do is find the topography. I really like it when those lines really stack up real quick, which is that military crest. If I can find that, and I can find some kind of transition from different types of cover. If you look up behind us, it's mostly pines, and then down below us you have this river bottom coming through, and you have like mostly hardwoods and stuff. Right along this transition where it lines up and that military crest lines up is always a killer spot. Now I put my pin a little bit further over in this direction, and the reason why is because there's a little bit of a slope, a gradual slope that goes down over there, and those lines don't stack up as good. And what that tells me is that there's probably a pretty good trail that goes down. So you have these coming along the side of the hill, and they all funnel down towards that one area where they can drop off the hill. Right here, it allows them to be far enough away so they can, smell or see something using that trail. They don't really like to bed right on those trails, but just off, either above, sometimes below, but just far enough away from that main travel corridor where they can, kind of get a heads up. So one thing that me and Andrew were talking about, you see how this right here, how that basically creases? That's more or less an older hair. Some of these hairs that get in these beds, they won't all be fresh. The ones that are really fresh, you can basically push on one end and it'll just kind of fold and make a perfect little curve without snapping. These right here crease though, so it's been here for a minute. No, look, deer. So we were just walking back up through here, checking areas out around this same elevation that we had marked on the map. That spot over there just looked a little bit too dry. All it was dirt and some pines. Now you get in here to a little bit thicker cover, some more grass, and we started picking up some beds. We found one just about 20 yards below us, and then found this one. This is a nice one. You can see how the grass is all discolored and matted down, and then you've got some deer crap in it.
Yeah, some muscadines.
Yep.
Right behind you.
Go ahead and eat you one. So right now we're on another bed just a few yards further over. You can see those tall trees right there. What those are, right below that is actually the hiking trail. So they're just off of it 20-25 yards. And then instead of seeing a trail go up and cross over where the hiking trail is, I can see a trail. You can see where all the brush is matted down through there, and it heads along parallel in this hiking trail.
Right up here on this transition line, we've been finding all this buck sign going down to that SMZ, and right here we got a big scrape, which Michael outlined kind of the perimeter of it. It's kind of that heart shape, where if they come up to it and a buck is using that licking branch, he's hitting it with this side and this side, so you end up with kind of that heart shape. And it's right on the edge of this little thicket, and I'd love to run a camera on a scrape just like this. This is the kind of scrape that I look for to put a camera on, something that has multiple licking branches, usually pretty big in size, and hopefully multiple deer are using it. Usually these bigger scrapes, multiple deer are using it, which is why it's so big, because over time one will do it a little bit more to the right. or one will scrape it more to the left or something like that. Just did that backwards. Right here we got an old, what I would call a signpost rub, where it looks like this has been rubbed multiple years in a row. I mean, clearly there's a lot of damage to this tree, and it was rubbed last year because you can see all this sap and kind of the fresher wounds on it. I actually had a camera that was on a community scrape like the one we just looked at last year, but it had one of these in the background, just a gnarly old tree. Looks like someone beat it up with a hatchet a couple years back. And I had 5 different bucks rub that tree over the course of 2 weeks during the rut. So this is pretty cool. This tells me that bucks probably cruise this line pretty often, like multiple different bucks. And it's obviously got several years of history. For whatever reason, out of all these trees on the edge, they really like rubbing this one. And there's a few other rubs kind of around here from, you know, multiple years. So that's a really good sign. And this isn't really a hard terrain feature. It's just a slight draw with a transition in it, and they're obviously working this transition going down towards that SMZ where the scrapes are. So the beds are up there, and you know, judge from the context that we saw those beds in, you know, they could be buck beds, but regardless, deer are bedding up on top of that ridge, and it's no piece down here to where we're standing right now. And we got this slight draw with this transition. You know, we got these bigger trees and we got smaller trees right there, so there's an edge. And it seems like if the bucks are bedding on that ridge, they're probably running right down this edge going towards that SMZ. On the other hillside opposite from that SMZ, we actually scouted that last time we were here and our SD card messed up, so we have no footage of that. But up on top of that ridge, there was actually a bunch of doe beds. There wasn't much buck sign, but this same edge runs through there too, and there were scrapes on that. So it seems like these bucks are using this edge and just traveling straight down it, going from bedding area to bedding area. It also runs into that SMZ with all the hardwoods in it, so they could run this, hit that SMZ, and then turn down and go in the SMZ to get acorns, search for more does, cut trails, whatever. So this is a good example of how habitat features can funnel deer just like terrain features can. We have a very little gentle slope right here, nothing that would really ever funnel a deer, and they're running this edge because, you know, they got great escape cover this way and great escape cover that way, and it lets them see. So I don't know why they use it, but they certainly do, and this buck sign proves it. What's up, everybody? Thanks for watching this video. Here's my dog getting all up in the video. I wanted to leave one thing with you guys, and that is that you can actually find these pins in the description below. So just to make this a little bit easier for everybody, maybe like the video is too fast paced or you're pausing it trying to see the map and everything, I'm gonna go ahead and share the link to all these onX Maps pins below. And each pin is going to have a title and a description, so you know exactly what's there. So for instance, the bed with like the grassy bed, you'll be able to see that, and it'll say, hey, this is the grassy bed, this is where it was, blah, blah, blah. And you can look at it on your own. And if you happen to live in the area, you can also go out there and find them yourself, because it's public land. Not huntable, of course, sadly. Funny thing is, I actually grew up hunting that land. That used to be a hunting club, and I hunted all that stuff at one point, so that's pretty cool. But anyways, thanks you guys for watching. As you can see, I'm still trying to get moved into my new place. Kind of literally dropped everything to make this video so we could get it out before hunting season, because lots of people have been asking about this, especially with our last few podcasts. So we wanted to get this out for you real quick. Make sure you are following along with both us and the unrest as hunting season gets kicked off. Hopefully this video is going to drop before this velvet hunt, but this weekend Jacob's going to Tennessee for that velvet hunt, and he's probably going to kill a buck unless I just jinxed him. So you're going to want to watch out for those videos. He's going to be up there with a muzzleloader for the CWD zone. It's going to be great, so you're not going to want to miss those videos. Other than that, guys, I hope you have a great season, and I hope you've been scouting.